Hello everyone and welcome back to Packs and Recreation, and today we continue the dinosaur saga with another Lost Caverns of Ixalan collector booster box, and this time I will open it at the first time. First try, first time, there you go, look at that. Beautiful, single strike, took a page from Rudy's book, and it just kind of works. If you ever wonder what it says in the back, each booster includes a Jurassic World card. So there is that. Now, a box topper, 12 boosters. 12 boosters to the side. Let's see what the topper has. Let's see the topper. So, toppers are always this, like single card boosters are this experience. And Mimic Vat from the Commander decks for 3 is a artifact that says imprint. Whenever a non-token creature dies, you may exile that card. If you do, return each other card exiled with Mimic Vat to its owner's graveyard. And if you pay 3 and tap it, you create a token that's a copy of a card exiled with Mimic Vat. It gains haste, exiled at the beginning of the next end step. Not bad. Not bad at all. Let's see, Rampaging Spiketail. One thing that is kind of common knowledge with these boosters is that they are not properly printed, and sometimes you notice more, sometimes you notice less, but you always notice, that's for sure. And if you don't, I will help you notice, don't worry. But it's kind of a shame that at least always 3 common and uncommons per booster are misprinted. So yep, let's see. Rampaging Ceratops. Deep Fathom Echo. Okay. Merfolk Spirit for 2, 1 green, 1 blue. 4/4. At the beginning of combat on your turn, Deep Fathom Echo explores. Then you may have it become a copy of another creature you control on the end of turn. Well, okay. I can see crazy combos with this. Treasure Map is a card that just I don't know, maybe I'm missing something, but it feels meh. Like, it looks okay at the beginning, but then the transformation is kind of meh. It just becomes a colorless land. So, I don't know, I guess it's okay if you're drafting or something. I don't know, I don't say use. Contest of Claws. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to another target creature. If excess damage was dealt this way, discover X, where X is the excess damage. Starving Revenant for 2 and 2 black is a spirit horror for 4. When it enters the battlefield, surveil 2. Then for each card you put on the top of the library, you draw a card and you lose 3 life. Yikes. And descend 8. Whenever you draw a card, if there are 8 or more permanent cards in your graveyard, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Okay. A mountain from Jurassic Park. Not the most exciting thing, but it's a thing. Ooh, Quintorius. The reason why we are, this thing actually is more like this. That we follow him to Ixalan after he gained his spark. Not bad. 3, 1 red, 1 white. I think it's the only planeswalker. Now he's like 1 planeswalker per set or something. Quintorius is a 4 loyalty planeswalker. Whenever you cast a spell from exile, Quintorius Canned deals 2 damage to each opponent and you gain 2 life. Very boros. And for +1, you create a 3/2 red and white spirit creature token. For -3, you discover 4, and the ultimate is -6 and says, exile any number of target cards from your graveyard. Add red mana for each card exiled this way. You may play those cards this turn. Not bad. I don't know if I can use it for my Planeswalker commander deck, but not bad at all. A Fungus Dinosaur token that is also a Gnome Soldier token. So where do I put tokens? Why is the math not working today? Because Jurassic Park goes here, lands go here, tokens go here, and the boosters here. Mineshaft Spider washed out, Acrobatic Leap washed out, and Join the Death very washed out. And you can see when I compare them, see, look at those titles compared to Seismic Monstrosaur. That's what I was talking about. This happened in every video that I did for this booster, and I always pointed out, and you are like, oh, this guy is such a nightmare. It's like, yep, but you know, I want to make it clear for everyone. Otherwise, I don't know, you may buy stuff and not know where you're getting into. And, you know, it just feels bad that you get this stuff, like Belligerent Yearling, because you pay this much and then you get that. I mean, well, Inti, Seneschal of the Sun. We haven't pulled a blue card yet, that's crazy. Sanguine Evangelist, nice, for 2 and 1 blue, sorry, for 2 and 1 white. Is a 2/1 Vampire Cleric that has Battle Cry, and then when it enters the battlefield or dies, you create 1/1 black bat creature token with flying. Okay. Or Reach Stalactite. For 1 and 1 red is an artifact that you can tap and gives you 1 red that can only be used to cast an instant or sorcery spell, and you can craft with 4 or more red instant and or sorcery cards for 3 and 2 red, and it becomes Cosmium Catalyst, which is an artifact that for 1 and 1 red, you tap it and it says, choose an exiled card used to draft Cosmium Catalyst at random. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost. So, okay, not bad. Next, the Skullspore Nexus. Kind of a weird design, but it works, not gonna lie. For 6 and 2 blue, geez, what is happening with blue? I'm just wanting a blue card, apparently. For 6 and 2 green, Legendary Artifact says it costs X less to cast, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. And whenever 1 or more non-token creatures you control die, create a green Fungus Dinosaur creature token with base power and toughness, each equal to the total power of those creatures. Not bad. That's why this is for. And if you pay 2 on tap, double target creature's power until the end of turn, which is not bad. Hunting Velociraptor from Jurassic Park, first strike, and dinosaur spells you cast have Prowl 2/1 red, clever girl, and Subterranean Schooner. Whenever it attacks, target creature that crewed it this turn explores. Not bad. And first blue card, a map token, is also a spirit token. Next. Disturbed Slumber, Iron Paw Aspirant, Greedy Freebooter, Idol of the Deep King, Chupacabra Echo, Triumphant Chump, Uchbenbak, The Great Mistake. That's how my parents refer to me. Island, Basic Island, Akawali, The Sitting Tower, not bad. Palanis Hatcher, I don't think I've ever seen this art. I normally see the other art. Nice. Preacher of the Schism, for 2 and 1 black, is a Vampire Cleric, 2/4 with Death Touch, and whenever it attacks, the player with the most life or tied for the most life, you create a 1/1 white vampire creature token with lifelink. Whenever Preacher of the Schism attacks while you have the most life or are tied for the most life, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. So, fair, I guess. Oh, from the Merfolk deck, Singer of Swift Rivers. Enters the battlefield, put a shield counter on another target creature you control. You may cast Merfolk spells as though they have flash. Very useful for Merfolk decks. Abuelo, which is an interesting card. Compy Swarm in foil, not bad. I always say that these dinosaurs are, because a big dinosaur, you can be like, oh, Cosmic Conflict is nice. A big dinosaur, you can be like, oh, it's going to eat me, right? And at least, I guess that, if you're going to be eaten by a dinosaur that is big, like a T-Rex, it's like, well, you're going to get bitten twice, maybe, that you feel it, depending on where it bites you. And basically, like, or just bites you and swallows you whole. And I don't know how that processes afterwards, but that's certainly a horrifying thought. But, it's like you suffer, but you suffer less. You know what I mean? With a velociraptor, at least how they show them in Jurassic Park, you will get beaten a couple of times, but then it's over, and they're very ferocious, so they will bite you very fast, and that's the end of it, right? But with those dinosaurs, the Compy Swarm, like you're in there for a while, unless one of them, I don't know, bites. No, because even if one of them bites you in the neck, it's not going to be that fast. So I don't know. That seems like a horrifying way. Plus, because you feel like you can, fight a couple of them, or maybe like 5, 6, 7, but then they just gang on you, and it's impossible. Killen, Darling Traveler. Oh, there is a journey. There is an adventure here. That's Journey on. You get X maps tokens, where X is 1 plus the number of opponents who control an artifact. So in Commander is pretty much always 4. So 3 and 1, right? Whenever Kellen Daring Traveler attacks, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature card with mana value 3 or less, put it into your hand. Otherwise, you may put it into your graveyard. Okay, nice engine. The Ever-Flowing Well, which is a card that is growing on me the more I get it. Has Descent 8. It mills you 2 cards, then you draw 2 cards. You have Descent 8. So if you have 8 or more permanent cards in your graveyard, it transforms, and it transforms into something very useful because it gives you blue mana, and whenever you cast a permanent spell using that mana, up to 1 other target permanent you control becomes a copy of that spell on the end of turn. So it becomes, interesting engine for crazy stuff. Curious Altisaur. This is from the dinosaur deck. Bringer of the Last Gift. This is a very interesting looking card. Whenever it enters the battlefield, if you cast it, each player sacrifices all the creatures they control. Then each player returns all creature cards from their graveyard that weren't put there this way. So this can be a crazy way to reset the board. And if you have a lot of graveyard, it's a black card. So a Forest from Jurassic Park. I don't hate the lands, but I always like, I don't know, don't give me lands. Tarian's Journal. And transforms into the Tomb of Aclasats. It took me years to understand that it was tomb and not tomb. So you can imagine that I spent a lot of my youth saying Tomb Raider. Which I know that if you speak English natively, it's kind of a joke because, tomboy, Tomb Raider, that sort of thing, maybe. But it was only late in my life that I was like, oh, you're supposed to say tomb. Okay. Which actually makes sense because in most other languages, the word that is the translation from tomb actually sounds very similar, like tumba, right? So, I don't know. Languages are funny. A Plains, Caparocti Sunburn, which sounds Italian, but it's not. Dire Flail, the one card that I don't get in this set, like I don't know, sometimes I don't. Squirming Emergence. This card is very interesting. I really want to use it, to build a proper deck around it. March of the Canonized. This is from the Commander deck. I think this is from the Vampire. Yeah, it is from the Vampire deck. So not bad. It's a pretty good enchantment to have around. Ooh, Hulking Raptor. Nice looking art, I have to say. Dinosaur. Has War 2. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, add 2 green. So, ramp for ramp's sake. Ooh, Ravenous Tyrannosaurus. Or Tyrannosaurus. But for 4, 1 red and 1 green is a dinosaur, 6/6, that has Devour 3. As it enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice any number of creatures. This creature enters the battlefield with 3 times that many +1/+1 counters. on it for each of those creatures. So if you have a lot of things, it says creatures, so you can sacrifice a bunch of tokens. If you have a token deck, this can get crazy. Whenever Ravenous Tyrannosaurus attacks, it deals damage equal to its power to up to one other target creature. Excess damage is dealt to that creature's controller instead. Yikes! And it's the iconic scene of the Tyrannosaurus going, bruh, and then the flag, the banner of dinosaurs walk the earth, falling. What a good movie, Jurassic Park. God damn it. So, Restless Anchorage in foil is okay, but as I always say, better than any normal slow land. Bat and copy. Deep Goblin Skulltaker, Song of Stupefaction, and Malamet Scythe, all badly printed, as you can see. But all foil, hehehe. Fungal Fortitude, Saheeli's Lattice, Belligerent Yearling, Self-Reflection. Blue is not a very strong color in this set. Swamp, and Scytheclaw Raptor, not bad. Ooh, Chimil, the Inner Sun, is an artifact, legendary artifact for 6. It says, spells you control can't be countered. Yikes. At the beginning of your end step, discover 5. So you're always discovering, exiling cards from the top of the library until you exile a non-land card with mana value X5 or less, cast it without paying its mana cost, or put it into your hand. Well, it's a very good engine, eh? It's for 6, you get that engine for, bringing stuff into battlefield like 5 or less, which is not bad, and then your spells can be countered. That's very good. The only bad thing is that discover 5, you exile. Oh well, no, sorry, I was about to say no. So this card is very good. I don't know the price of it, but I can see myself doing stuff with this. This is interesting. Thousand Moons Smithy. This is an interesting one. Spoilers, I guess. Barracks of the Thousand. This one we already pulled a couple of times. Is solid. Illustrious Wanderglyph. This is okay. This is from the Commander decks as well. The Ancient One. The Ancient One? Yeah. So, Dimir, for 1 blue and 1 black, is at 8/8. Spirit God. Oh, there you go. For this cost, it has to have Descend 8. The Ancient One can't attack or block unless there are 8 or more permanent cards in your graveyard. No, so not bad still. For 2 and 1 blue and 1 black, draw a card, then discard a card. When you discard a card this way, target player mills cards equal to his mana value. Oh, very good. This card is very good. I can see this thing in a Dimir deck doing horrible things. A Plains in Jurassic Park. So I guess plains and forests are the things that I get the most. I don't know, but forest or islands. I think I've never seen an island. Malcolm, something Scoundrel, which you see is alluring here. This is actually a very interesting card. I wouldn't make it my commander, but it's very, very, resourceful for the 99. Gnome and Fungus. Although, you can make everything your commander, as long as you are smart with it. And you have the cards to back it up. Deathcap Marionette, Etalis Favor, I mean, and plus if it's Etali, usually it's the other way, because Etali eats anything. Ancestral Reminiscence, Explorer's Cache, Council of Echoes, Volatile Fault, not many caves this time, Swamp, I don't like because it looks like an island, Rampaging Ceratops, Malcolm, Alluring Scoundrel, but this time the normal art. I think I prefer this one. Terror Tide, for 2 and 2 black. All creatures get -X/-X until the end of turn, where X is the number of permanent cards in your graveyard. So you can pretty much board wipe. Order of Sacred Dusk. This is from the Vampire Commander deck. 6, 1 white, 1 black. It has Convoke, Flying, Lifelink, Exalted, Haste, and other vampires you control have Exalted as well. So this is kind of a crazy card for that deck. Trumpeting Carnosaur for 4 and 2 red. It's a 7/6. It has trample, and when it enters the battlefield, discover 5. And you can pay 2 and 1 red, discard, and it deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. So, very resourceful, kind of good. There you go, I was saying, I don't think we pulled an island. There is an island for Jurassic Park. Pugnacious Hammer Skull for 2 and 1 green is a 6/6 that attacks while you don't control. Like whenever you attack when you don't control another dinosaur, it gets stunned. If you control another dinosaur, apparently it doesn't get stunned, which actually makes this card kind of good to defend at the beginning. It's kind of cheap. This card is good. Copy and Fungus. We are more or less halfway there. Oh, living on a prayer. Let's go. Out of Air and Out of Ink, the Construction Hammer and Armor Kingkiller, all misprinted, as you can see, just by the title. Then they are kind of dirty all around. I don't know. The Construction Hammer, Armor Kingkiller, Hidden Cataract, the cave, Visage of Dread, Glowcap Lantern, Sinuous Benthisaur, and Visit Ixalan. We promise it's cool. Plains. Good. Kutsil Malamed Exemplar. And there you go. Bonehorde Dracosaur for 3 and 2 red is a 5/5 dinosaur dragon with flying and first strike that says, at the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play them this turn. If you exile a land card this way, create a 3/1 red dinosaur creature token. If you exile a non-land card this way, create a treasure token. That is very good. I mean, as long as this thing is on the battlefield, you run the risk of slightly milling yourself, but because it's exiling, it's not even to the graveyard or anything, so it's kind of dangerous. But it has flying and first strike, so that's very dangerous for a 5/5 that costs 5, right? 3 and 2 red. But this means that every turn you may play those 2 cards, and mind you, that will be good enough because it means that sometimes you get free lands. I mean, if you haven't put 1 already, but sometimes you don't have lands in your hand, so you get free drops. But if you exile a land card that you can later play, unless you already played a land this turn, you get a 3/1 red dinosaur token. And if you exile a non-land, you get a treasure, which gives you mana to summon stuff. So this is actually very good. And this fits dinosaur and dragon decks as well. So I don't know how this much is worth. I guess it's on the screen. I don't think it's that expensive. I don't know. Maybe I'm saying, I don't know. But this, to me, this is a very good card. I will put it in any dinosaur or dragon deck, no doubt. Kitesail Larcenist. For 2 and 1 blue, flying ward. Enters the battlefield. For each player, choose up to 1 target artifact creature the player controls. For as long as it is on the battlefield, that permanent becomes a treasure artifact with sacrifice the artifact, our mana of any color, and lose all other abilities. So they get a treasure, but in exchange they lose whatever it is that they had. The Eye of Ohertak. This is one that I don't quite get myself, and in the other video people try to explain to me. I still don't like. It's cool, like mana rock for 3, 1 mana of any color, but then you craft with 2 that share a card type. So for typals, this is great, and it becomes Apex Observatory, and it enters tapped. So as it enters, you choose a card type shared among the 2 exiled cards. The next spell you cast this turn on the chosen type can be cast without paying its mana cost. So like, oh sorry, I know, got it. Okay, so nothing. This card is good. So for typal decks, this thing is good. Restless Reef, the usual, is a slow land, but this one transforms into things, so that's always good. Ooh, Swooping Pteranodon. So for 3, Amboros is a 3/3 dinosaur that has flying and haste, and whenever it or another dinosaur with flying enters the battlefield under your control, Gain control of target creature and opponent controls until the end of turn. Untap that creature. It gains flying and haste until the end of turn. At the beginning of the next end step, target land deals 3 damage to that creature. So, bam, 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 bam. Very interesting card. Brass's Tunnel Grinder. For 2 and 1 red is a legendary artifact that says when it enters the battlefield, discard a number of cards, then draw that many cards, +1. At the beginning of your end step, if you descended this turn, put a boar counter on this card. Then, if there are 3 or more boar counters on it, remove those counters and transform it, and it becomes Tecutlan. The Searing Rift is a land that gives you 1 red mana, and whenever you cast a permanent spell using mana produced by Tecutlan, discover X, where X is that spell's mana value. It's okay. I think it's cooler as normal than Transform. Transform is kind of okay. A gnome token is also an angel. Panicked Altisaur, River Herald Scout, Hunter's Blowgun, Glorifier of Suffering, Defossilize, Geological Appraiser, Synapse Necromage, or Synapse. A Mountain, let's see, Belligerent Yearling. This card is interesting, but it always I always feel it like it's unfinished. This is weird. Bedrock Tortoise, not bad. I love turtles, so there you go. Useful. Jadelight Spelunker, which is it's kind of useful. I mean, this is mostly for merfolks. This thing just works, but mostly if you want to explore. Otherwise, it's kind of whatever. Tributary Instructor, 3 and 1 green. Is from the merfolk deck. Talking about merfolks, it has Mentor, and whenever a creature you control with +1/+1 counter dies, draw a card. Ooh, there you go. Roaming Throne, the card that everybody's loving. So for 4 is a 4/4 that has Ward 2. The Ward 2 just seems excessive. Like the card is good already, and the Ward 2 is just like, yeah, let's put Ward on the card. As Roaming Throne enters the battlefield, you choose a creature type, and it is a chosen type in addition to the other types. If a trigger ability of another creature you control of the chosen type triggers, it triggers an additional time. So this card is very good. Everyone loves it. Works in any deck, and the only thing, the ward is just unnecessary, and the only thing that is just overkill. I mean, this art I don't get. Like the normal art is cool. This art, I don't. Like, where is the throne? He's sitting on the throne, I guess. But like, come on, give me the throne. Where is the throne? Give me the throne. A command tower from Jurassic Park, which is always nice because command towers go anywhere, and a Deep Phantom Echo, which is a very nice art, but the card is, it's cool. Map Merfolk, 3 to go. Oteclan Landmark, Mephitic Drought, badly printed, another chance, badly printed. You can see it here. Look at that. Look at that. So, boom, another chance, boom, Skullcap Snail, boom, Dreadmouth Ire, Caparocti Sunburn, Mischievous Pop, an island, and let's see, Akawali, the Sealing Tower, okay, Bringer of the Last Gift. I normally only see the other art. I think I prefer this one by a mile. This thing is kind of cool. Okay, Growing Rights of Itlimok. I like this card. I think you can do a lot of crazy things with it. It gives you green mana for each creature you control, and it only transforms when you have 4 or more creatures. So it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. I like it. It gives you a lot of ramp. So, Waita, Trainer Prodigy. This is from the Commander decks. This is the co-commander of the Dinosaur deck. This card is very interesting, and it's one of the few, I really like when Wizards does the co-commander thing, or the second commander, or optional commander, or whatever you want to call it. And it shifts the deck in a completely different direction, but that also means that the deck doesn't work the same way, and sometimes it makes it so that the decks are like half and half, or like 75 and 25% for each commander trying to meet both ends. So watch the video. We'll put the link here for the Ixalan, Los Caverns of Ixalan commander decks, because that's an interesting debate. Breaches, Eager Pillager. So for 2 and 1 red, it's a Goblin Pirate. First strike, whenever a pirate you control attacks, choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. So create a treasure token. Target creature can block this turn or exile the top card of your library. You may play it this turn. Not bad at all. Ooh, Dino DNA. It's an artifact from Jurassic Park. And it costs 1. It has imprint. You pay 1, tap it, exile target creature card from a graveyard. Activate only as a sorcery. And for 6, create a token that's a copy of target creature card exiled with Dino DNA, except it's a 6/6 green dinosaur creature with a trample. Activate only as a sorcery. This is very useful. Obviously, this only works for... I mean, it can work in any deck actually, but in dinosaur decks is where the magic is. I like the art. The face is kind of weird. No offense to Leonardo Santana. And I like it that you can pay 1 and tap, and then you can pay the cost because it doesn't, you can do everything in the same turn if you play your cards right. Sanguine Evangelist or Sanguine Evangelist in foil and white art and all the cool things. A vampire and a dinosaur. Second to last. Dead Weight, Ancestors 8, Pathfinding Axio, Burning Sun Cavalry, Vanguard of the Rose, Malicious Eclipse, Waterlogged Hulk, a Swampity Swamp, Soyowa Lavatongue, Throne of the Green Captain. I never seen the normal art on this one. I like this card, but I always say the same in all the videos, because I always pull at least one, is that I think it's kind of difficult to make this work, but if you make it work, it's cool. It's a problem that this can be your commander, so that makes that you can't consistently pull it. Plus, in a commander deck that you have all the types of creature in Ixalan, I don't know. If you have an idea to make that thing work consistently in a commander scenario, let me know. Sometimes you can. I mean, right? That card screams a standard to me, like, oh, you can have 4 copies of it and all that. But like, again, having dinosaurs, merfolk, pirates, and vampires in there, likely not from Lost Caverns of Ixalan, but maybe you can put a lot of cards that have a similar theme within them in those 4 types, so that they work, right? But still, it's not like right off the box. Broadside Bombardiers from the commander deck. This is from the pirate deck. Ooh, Oher Kaslem. I won't say Oger because, well, technically it should be Oger, because if the X is Ha, then the J is Ja, right? So in this Mesoamerican scenario, Deepest Growth for 3 and 2 green is a legendary creature god with trample. Is a 6/5 and says whenever it deals combat damage to a player, reveal that many cards from the top of your library. You may put a creature card and unallowed card from among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest on the bottom in a random order. When it dies, return to the battlefield tapped and transform until it's under control. Very useful, and it becomes Temple of Cultivation. So it gives you green mana. It's a land that gives you green mana, and you can have it come back for 2 and 1 green, but only if you control 10 or more permanents and only as a sorcery. So I can see this thing being a pain in the ass. So kind of cool. A Jurassic Park Swamp. And, ooh, the Skullspore Nexus in foil. So I think we pull one... here? Here? Well, I don't know what it is. But the Skullspore Nexus, nice looking card. Kind of weird, kind of useful. Green artifact. A treasure token from Jurassic Park and a dinosaur token from Jurassic Park. Double Jurassic Park token. Nice. And last but not least, Cockwork Wrestler, Blood Brood Rage, Mycoid or Mycoid, and Dinomation or Dinotomaton, okay, because the road. All misprinted, as you can see. Shame. So, Hidden Necropolis, Land Cave, Bloodthorn Flail, Zoetic Glyph, so Scout, Forest, and let's see, Kutzil, Malamer's Exemplar, Foil, all the good things. Breaches, Eager Pillager, so a pirate you control attacks, choose one that hasn't been tokened, so treasure tokens all the way, can't block this turn, etc. This is very good for aggro pirates. Deep Root Pilgrimage, amazing for merfolk. Promise of Aclasots, I like the lore behind this one. So for 1/1 black, it's an enchantment, but you can go adventure first. So Full Rebirth for 2/1 black is a sorcery adventure. Sacrifice a non-demon creature. If you do, create a 4/3 white and black vampire demon creature token with flying, which is always great. And then you can call it as Promise of Aclasots, and it says, at the beginning of your end step, you may sacrifice a non-demon creature. If you do, populate. This is from the Vampire Commander deck, and this works amazingly in that deck because of the commander mostly. So, ooh, the Myco Tyrant, or the Miko Tyrant, because Miko comes from fungus, right? So, for 1/1 black and 1 green is a legendary creature, Elder Fungus. It's X and X, or asterisk and asterisk, for the attack and defense, or strength and toughness. It has trample. The Myco Tyrant's power and toughness are each equal to the number of creatures you control that are fungi and or saprolings. At the beginning of your end step, create X1/1 black fungus creature tokens with this creature can block, where X is the number of times you descended this turn. So for this to work as your commander or something, you really need to descend a lot. So you really need to go full Ixalan for this to trigger properly, right? Ooh, a command tower, Jurassic Park in foil, and a Restless Prairie that transforms into a 3/3 green and white Yama creature until the end of the turn, and it's still in. A gnome and a skeleton pirate. So let's see the best looking ones pretty quickly. So for tokens, let's not pick skeleton pirate as usual. This is good, but let's see what else we have. Well, dinosaur is cool. This dinosaur is cooler. Let's go with this dinosaur. This dinosaur is pretty cool. So there is that. Let's start with white. This one is cool. This one is interesting. This one is great. This one is actually pretty cool. But I'm going with this one. Actually, also in foil, just the metal just shines and all that. Sanguine Evangelist. For blue, what's the best looking one? Well, this is kind of meh. This is kind of meh. This is actually nice looking. I like that one. I'm going with this one. Just like the composition here. Self-reflection. Me every day. So, for black, we have a couple of good candidates here. The Bringer of Last Gift and Promise of Aclasots. This one is also nice. Like there are a couple. Ooh, I'm going with Visage of the Dread. Visage of the Dread, I think. Very symmetrical. You know, I'm all in for. Oh, this also looks very nice. Like again, but I love magic stars. Oh, this is cool. Now I'm going with Visage of Dread. Look at that. Just looks nice. In red, which is a color that we get a lot of, red and green, because of dinosaurs and pirates and all that. Mixed feelings with the dinosaurs. Not a lot of good looking cards. A lot of them are very noisy and full of stuff. I don't know. This never happened. I don't feel like attracted to any card in particular. Like, oh, this looks cool. It's just like meh. Going with Itali's Favor just because I think it looks okay, and also I said flavor, so that will last forever in my memory. The Skullspore Nexus just looks cool. This one also looks very nice. This looks nice as well. But you know, I like iconic stuff, logo stuff, see? And this one in foil just crickety dippity deep. So there you go. For multicolor, we have this one looks nice. This one looks interesting. Abuelo always in my heart. But I don't want to pick this one again. Oh, let's go with Quintorius. Yeah, there you go. Quintorius or Quintorius is it just works. Kind of goofy, but it works. For colorless, I can go with Roaming Throne, but at the same time, that will be hypocritical because I don't like the art very much. So Mimic Vat is cool, and Sunbird Thunder is cool. So I'm going with Mimic Vat. For the lands, the weird lands, I'm going with Restless Prairie. I mean, it was the first, but actually is the best looking one. And yeah, let's go with a forest. I mean, let's pick one different for each video, I guess. And for Jurassic Park, I think that this one takes the cake. Ravenous Tyrannosaurus, or Tyrannosaurus, or whatever. Just that moment, perfectly encapsulated. So, very cool. And that's the loot, my friends. Let me know down below what you think and whether or not you think these are good pulls. Always open for comments, suggestions, and what could be improved. I hope you had a great time, and I hope to see you again next time on Packs and Recreation. Bye.